segment we're rolling out called Four Things First, the stuff that caught our collective eyes yesterday. Nick, start with you. What'd you like?
Well, I mean, the graphic says it all. I mean, not surprisingly, the playoff bracket remains perfect. And not only does it remain perfect, you have three superfectas on there, if we can show it, where you got the team, not only the team correct, but the exact number of games correct. The Rockets in 7 helped with that. Now, I do have to say, the Bucks are making me a little anxious. I feel good about my bracket, but I've got the Bucks advancing past this round and the next round, and so that feels like it's a little up in the air. The other one, the Nuggets,
you can change
the Clippers. No, I don't need to change it yet. The Nuggets beating the Clippers, by the way, Wilds. If you agree with me on that, Fox Bet right now is paying you about 11 to 1 on your money. So $100 would net you a little over $1,000 if you want to bet the Nuggets to upset the Clippers in round 2. But thus far, I'm pretty happy with my bracket, and I assume, Wilds, it's going to result in me getting an official NBA vote.
It ought to. You're the prognosticator of prognosticators, America's best sports futurist, Nick Wright. Hey, outrageous call here, decision by the league, for Marcus Smart to be fined $5,000 for just, this brutal play. He shoved down by Siakam, but still somehow got fined. It reminds me of the play in Atlanta where Kyle Korver picked him up and threw him out of bounds. So Marcus Smart, I'm sorry, I don't know if we've got a GoFundMe to help you out. These are egregious fines that have no, watch this one, Nick. Like, he just gets picked up and thrown out of here. So people are picking on Marcus Smart. I don't agree with the fine, but keep playing hard, Marcus. And we'll look forward to seeing you tonight.
Go ahead, Brandon.
Oh, man, so who do we have here? Oh, Dave, the general manager for the Giants. Look, I respect Mr. Gettleman when it comes to personnel decisions and getting talent, but he needs to sit in the room, watch film, and stop giving these sound bites. He only speaks 3-4 times a year, but when he does, it's so powerful. I mean, what has this kid done? He did things that no other rookie quarterback has ever done. Well, what are those things, Mr. Gettleman?
I think he set the fumble record. I think that's what he did.
Exactly. I'm excited for Daniel Jones. Huge upside. But Mr. Gettleman, stick to watching film, please.
No thanks.
Look at this guy. I mean, we're just showing his highlights. Where are the fumbles?
The New England Patriots are set to release wide receiver Mohamed Sanu later this afternoon. This after less than 1 full season in New England. This after they traded a second-round pick for him just last year. Remember, he was supposed to be the guy for Tom Brady, just like he was the guy for Matt Ryan, but it didn't quite work out. Was it him, or is it somehow on Bill Belichick? Is this the rare area where Bill Belichick whiffs on wide receivers? We know the free agents he's brought in, that he hasn't exactly made it. The Chad Johnsons, Demaryius Thomas, Antonio Browns. But he's got to be great in the draft. I'm sure Bill Belichick has hit in the draft. Oh, but no, how about this? Since 2010, Bill Belichick has drafted 9 different wide receivers. They've combined for 1,500 combined NFL receiving yards in their career. So not so much. For all the hits Bill Belichick has, the wide receiver position seems to be the one miss. Good luck, Cam Newton. You got N'Keal Harry and Julian Edelman this year. Let's see if this year's core is better than all the years past under Bill Belichick. Just my opinion. All right, speaking of Tom Brady's former team, now his current team, Tampa Bay, the Bucks, like my friend Marnie, on an absolute spending spree. News breaking last night that running back Leonard Fournette agreed to a 1-year deal worth up to $3.5 million with the team. The former number 4 overall pick was waived Monday by Jacksonville after the team unsuccessfully tried to trade him. So another weapon for Tom Brady. A sentence we haven't said in years. What do you think, Nick? Does TB12 have any excuse now not to dominate with the weapons he is currently surrounded with in Tampa Bay?
Very quickly, before I answer that question, I must say, Jenna, I thought your Patriots analysis there was so spectacular and spot on. And I was so ready to, on and off the air, just give you a big virtual hug. and then you couldn't resist the urge to somehow name check Marnie 12 seconds later, and it's just like all the good work that was done, it's just totally erased. I'm like, okay, all right. It's like for a moment someone else inhabited your body, and then it's like, oh, now Jenna's back. We're talking about Marnie spending at Bloomingdale's. Okay, great. All right, now to this
but
question.
That's what she does.
Listen, Brandon, I don't know where you fall on this. I think Leonard Fournette is a name more than he is, forget elite, even very good NFL running back. He was great at LSU. Since then, he's been replacement level. And, you know, to misquote my guy from Reading Rainbow, you don't have to take my word for it. 31 teams in the league had the opportunity to guarantee Leonard Fournette would be on their team by claiming him off waivers. And they were like, $4 million? Not worth it. The Patriots, the Bucs get him for $2 million. I know everyone remembers him at LSU, and everyone that first year he was with Jacksonville when they make the AFC Championship game, you think big things are coming. But to me, this is I don't think he's better than Ronald Jones. I don't think he is a big difference maker. So whether or not Brady succeeds or fails this year, I believe Brandon is going to have very little to do with Leonard Fournette and his place on this team's offense.
Yeah, I mean, with Leonard or without Leonard, the expectation for Tom Brady is high. He could have went to the Jacksonville Jaguars, went to the Cleveland Browns. He could have went to Washington. And the standard is always going to be the standards to win the Super Bowl. I think this helps him out a lot. He's an aging quarterback. So to have a guy that could potentially go for 1,500 yards says a lot. It's very meaningful. But Leonard Fournette, there's something else to this, right? Like a lot of times when I look at these players and I look at the struggles they have with organizations, it make me think about fit. And from the beginning, it seemed like that relationship was doomed, Wilds. You look at Leonard and all the issues that they had and the back and forth with Tom. I think this could be the perfect locker room for him because there's discipline, there's respect, which is extremely important, but not everybody gets along with Tom. And when you take a guy like Leonard, I think that was more of a volatile relationship than it was a coach to player, that type of coach to and respecting management type relationship. I don't think he respected him. And for that reason, I think this is a better fit for him because he has Bruce, he has Tom, and he has other guys in that locker room that I think he'll respect a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, on the field, the Bucs need him. The Bucs were the worst in yards per carry. They had 3.7 yards per carry. Now they got LaShawn McCoy. Now they got Leonard Fournette. Granted, he had 3 touchdowns last year, but he still ran for 1,100 yards. And the other thing, Nick, you can look at, the guy can catch the ball now. The previous 2 years, he had 58 receptions. Last year, went up to 76 receptions, 522. So if I'm Tom Brady, I wake up, I have my 20 ounces of electrolyte water, and I'm happy that I got another weapon to throw to in the offense.
Too many electrolytes.
Yeah, so that's a very interesting thing. That another guy to throw to and another guy, you mentioned they signed LaShawn McCoy. I wonder if he now gets cut. They already have Ronald Jones.
Oh,
that's a lot of mouths to feed on this offense, Brandon. And here's one of the, to me, a potentially big issue. A handful of those mouths have never actually been fed. And by that, I mean they're still on rookie contracts. So we know Mike Evans has been paid. They bring in Gronk. We know, obviously, he's made a ton of money in this league. Chris Godwin, coming off the best season of his career on a third round rookie contract. Ronald Jones on a rookie contract. Tight end O.J. Howard on his rookie contract. I just wonder in the locker room, even if the team is succeeding more than it did last year, those guys who need numbers in order to secure their financial future in this league, I mean, how does it land with Ronald Jones? It's like, oh, we signed LaShawn McCoy. We drafted a running back in the 3rd round. We now signed Leonard Fournette. And by the way, he's putting up IGs of him in my jersey. 27 is actually already taken. It's Ronald Jones' number. And O.J. Howard sees like...
That was fast. That was fast.
That was fast. That was fast. He's following Tom Brady's MO of just taking another guy's number with no excuses. So O.J. Howard, it's like, wait, we had Cameron Brate already. We need Gronk. I'm a 1st-round pick. And Chris Godwin has to know there's fewer balls for me. Like, so how does this resonate, Brandon, with guys who haven't been paid yet, who need their numbers?
Yeah, I mean, O.J. Howard, this is the best thing that could have happened for O.J. Howard, being around Tom Brady and Gronk. He gets another opportunity to develop. Everything coming out of their camp is that O.J. Howard has taken his game to a whole nother level and is meshing really well there. And we all know Tom loves those 2 tight end sets. But when it comes to, this fit, I think the only place it can be disruptive is in a running back room, because there's only one ball and there's 3 downs essentially where you can touch it, right? Mm-hmm. So example, when it comes to the receivers, we actually love having this type of guy, because we know if this guy can go for 1,200 yards, 1,500 yards, it gives us bigger lanes to run our routes. You can't double me anymore. You can't roll coverage to me anymore. And if you do, the coaches, all they need to do is hand the ball to their bell cow and let him pick up 5-6 yards. And eventually they have to go to 8-man box, which leaves these star receivers one-on-one. And as a receiver in today's game, that's exactly what we want. We don't want those bracket coverages. We don't want cover 2. We don't want quarters. We want everybody to go in the box and stop the run game. So Wilds, I don't know where you fit here, but I'm excited about this being a perfect situation for Fournette.
So do you think that anyone in the running backs room is a little bit upset, or is it 100% joy like it would be in the wide receivers room if you added a wide receiver to the Bucs?
Yeah, 13 years in the NFL, 5 different teams. It was only a handful of times I saw it. Like, guys aren't going to do that. Guys are trained to compete. We know, like, every year they're drafting somebody or bringing somebody in to take our spot. This is one of the most volatile environments you can be in, and that's professional sports, because one day you could be hanging from the rafters, and the next day you could literally be packing up your locker with the garbage bag. They're telling you, hey, we no longer need your services. So it's organically, it's a competitive environment. Guys just continue to pick themselves up every single day and continue to compete. So I don't think it's a huge problem, but definitely guys are looking like, man, this was my opportunity to carry the load more.
Well, we got a week until the season starts. We'll see how all of this fits in. Take a turn back to last night's incredible finish by James Harden in Game 7. That is next on First Things First.
Incredible.